Hi, I am Paul Bartholomew, and this is I Want to Hold Your Band. Welcome. So today we talk with actor, and let's be honest, tall drink of water, Tuc Watkins. You may know him from Paradise, that new hot show on television, Criminal Minds, Uncoupled, Parks and Rec. I mean, just so many things. That great film version of Boys in the Band that was on Netflix. Yeah, so we have such a great conversation. He's such a charming, funny guy. We talk about a lot of music. Elton John and Goodbye Yellow Brick Road, Ace of Base, the Sexy Monks of Enigma, Julie Cruz, Last Temptation of Christ soundtrack. Did I say Jon Secada? Jon Secada. So remember, as always, the links to all these songs are in the episode description. Click them and then you can vibe along with us. So without further ado, I give you the charming Tuc Watkins. First piece of music, artist, album that you remember coming into your life when you were younger.
I remember the first 45 that I bought.
Oh.
I rode my bike down to Venture in Mission, Kansas, which was kind of like Kmart. And I don't know why I bought this, but it was Life's Been Good by Joe Walsh.
Oh, sure.
And I think the reason I like that is because it tells a story, and I could hear those lyrics, I could hear those words. I drive a limo right in the back. I lock the doors in case I'm attacked. So I could sing along with it.
Right.
And I remember playing that on my plastic record player in 79, is my guess. Because I know the house that I lived in, and I think I was probably in 6th grade. My introduction to music, I had a clock radio all through grade school, and it had an alarm setting and it had a music setting, and the alarm was broken. So all I had was music. So every morning in grade school, I would wake up to music, and it was the music of the era. And so...
Do you remember the station?
Probably KY 102.
KY 102.
Yeah. They had the guy on the billboard had this rockin' body and an elephant head. And I remember being attracted to it. I was like, God, that's so beautiful.
Surely.
But a lot of that music of that era I found scary. Dreamweaver, it had that haunting quality to it, and they would always play that. That's my memory of the music of that era.
And this is what age around?
This was probably 3rd through 6th grade. So we just said Life's Been Good was 78. So it was probably 76. I remember the bicentennial in music, 1976 through 79, probably. And I didn't like it. I didn't like that music. It was kind of creepy, and it was music that my uncle liked, and he was kind of a hippie and kind of cool, but I didn't like the music. But I don't know why I didn't say to my parents, I need a new alarm clock.
Did your parents have a system down? I mean, 70s usually everyone had a system. Was it in the living room?
It was in the living room. It was to the right of the piano, which no one played. And I remember my parents had an 8-track player. And I remember the one 8-track tape that I liked. I don't know what it was called, but it was like the 15 greatest songs of the 70s or something like that. And it had these psychedelic swirls on the label. And the only song that I remember from it was Let It Be. That 8-track tape, I remember liking that song. And I also remember my dad, we had a Karen Carpenter, and I remember my dad threw it out the window and said, I hate Karen Carpenter. And that was so unlike my dad. My sister and I were like, wow, what was that?
He threw it out the window.
He did.
Wait, give me the setting of that. How did that come to...
Well, I think I may be confusing that with a story in the car where he took a cassette tape out of the car and he saw it was Karen Carpenter and then threw that out the window as we were driving.
But Karen Carpenter,
it was definitely Karen Carpenter because we still tease him about that story to this day.
He did it jokingly or like...
No, he authentically didn't like Karen Carpenter, but I think he did it because he had an audience. Right. That's where I learned that kind of stuff.
And that's when I knew I would be an actor. So influences from do you remember music from your mom and dad or things that they had in that stereo downstairs, like records or?
I remember more music from, I grew up next to my friend Brooke Dillman, who's an actress. We're still friends. We met in Mission, Kansas, growing up next to each other when we were 4. She had an older sister, Kristen, and Kristen was keyed into music. And that's where I first heard of Elton John.
Oh.
Goodbye Yellow Brick Road, which I think is still one of my favorite albums of all time. Actually, that came into my life later when I was in a fraternity and I was a pledge and they would haze us specifically to Funeral for a Friend off of...
It's haunting.
It was haunting. And it was, so yeah, so my I have a varied relationship with that particular
That album.
because there's undeniably great music on there, but there's also this time when I was a young adult, being lined up in my underwear with these other guys and being told that I was an idiot, and I was like, what am I doing? Why am I doing this? And why is it this song? And the other song they would play was Bolero. Dun, 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 dun. People say I have no regrets in life. That one of my regrets is joining a fraternity. I feel like it prevented me from getting to know myself sooner because I'm gay, and I think it sort of stunted my growth. And I think by the time I was done with college, that's when I came out, and that's when I sort of dealt with that. And I think if I hadn't joined that misogynistic, homophobic entity, maybe I would have gotten to know myself a little bit better. And I'd be a little further up B.F. Skinner's pyramid of self-actualization than where I am right now.
Look at you with B.F. Skinner.
I was a psych minor. I majored in telecommunications, which is the only major that no one has any follow-up questions for.
At what school?
Because no one knows what it is, and neither do I, and I have a degree in it. Indiana University.
Indiana.
And I got minors in theater, French, and psychology.
Oh, wow.
I would have had a double major in theater, but I didn't take costuming, specifically because I was afraid of the sewing machine. Again, more homophobia, I think. I don't know how to sew. I'm not like that.
You go home.
So dumb. So dumb. But yeah, so I know a little bit of a lot of things thanks to my college education.
Your sister, any influence music-wise from her?
I don't think we influenced each other musically because I think our musical influences came from our friends and neighbors. My friends in high school, her friends in high school. I remember she had a friend who started to make mixtapes. Oh. I remember he put Bronski Beat on there, and I was like, wow, that is so cool. Bronski Beat. They sound so different and futuristic. But no, I don't think she nor I influenced each other musically.
That's what we've talked a lot to people so far about mixtapes and their importance and value in the 70s and the 80s because you didn't have the amazing thing, which is Spotify. And so music was passed on to you.
Yes.
By someone who's like, hey, you got to check this out. This is like, it's got like Bronski Beat. This is like these electronic synthesizer.
Well, that's how we used to get to know one another. I remember when I was like a young man coming into my own, moved to LA, and you'd be dating. You go to someone's house that you're dating, and one way to get to know them is you'd look at their music collection.
Totally.
You'd look at the books on the wall. And it was actually really informative.
Yeah.
And I think it's a real disservice that young people don't have anymore because you go to someone's house, everything's IKEA or West Elm, it's impersonal, it's streamlined, and you don't have access to anyone's information.
Yeah.
So I remember dating this one guy, and I went to his house early on, and it was all my music, and I thought, this is the one. This one's going to work out.
And?
It was all my music. It worked for a little while. But yeah, we don't have that. Yeah, everything's on a Kindle, so nobody keeps their books on their shelves except the ones that they want us to see. I also remember in, I think, 7th grade, maybe 8th grade, the Columbia record collection. That probably comes up a lot, right?
Oh, 100% where you do it and then you kind of bail.
Yeah. Well, I remember it went around and I asked my mom if I could buy an album and she said yes. And I remember the reason I ordered Journey Captured is because it was a double album and I just wanted more. I possessed the sin of more at an early age.
I don't care the quality of the music.
I didn't really like Journey Captured. I liked Journey Escape, which came out later, but it was just a single album. And so I got Journey Captured, and I never really listened to it, but it was a double album, and I wanted 2.
Did you hold on to any of your physical media, like records or CD?
No. I think as the new thing came along, the old medium got dropped.
Yeah.
I didn't keep any of that stuff.
That's what I did.
I should have done that.
That's what I did. The last thing to kind of like stay was I had one of those big binder things that had CDs. I'd gotten rid of the cases and they had them all in there.
Yeah.
Which is a shame too because now I dove back into both vinyl and CDs when my dad passed away in 2020, which kind of was a little slow beginning to this because I started to fold back into music and holding music and looking at it.
Yeah, I need to be reminded what music I like. And I still have a couple of those CD cases also. And I'm glad I do because, like, I actually like Ace of Base that we're not supposed to like that group.
I love people admitting things they like that they're not supposed to like.
And I would forget that I like Ace of Base because nobody plays it, but I've got that CD in that thing. And the reason I go through it every now and then is I also keep a DVD movies that I would play for my kids in the car on road trips. And so I would go buy it and I go, oh yeah, Ace of Base. Or,
I Saw the Sign?
I Saw the Signs on there. Or like that first Enigma album, which was so sexy. Which came out, I think, late 80s, early 90s, which was those monks. It was those chanting. So hot. If you were a gay man in the 90s and you were in my home and I was playing Enigma or Julie Cruz, who did the music for Twin Peaks.
I want to talk to you about that.
Or the soundtrack to The Last Temptation of Christ. If I was playing one of those three things,
Time to get it
I was
on.
trying to get you to have sex with me. It always worked. I think it always worked.
I had that with in college with Enya.
Yeah.
But those have a little bit. But Enya's more like new agey. Like that monkey Enigma thing is more kind of erotic and kind of like.
And Enya was more like, oh, I want to caress your face.
Yes.
And
that was me. I was very.
Were you?
Very gentle.
You were sensitive.
Were you, Paul?
Yeah, I was trying to throw guys against the wall. So.
And it worked. This is good to know. So tip for all you listeners out there, Enigma.
Well, you got to find the thing that moves you. I remember, this is primarily an adult podcast, right?
100%. I flip the explicit thing every time I post it. So yes, I want truth.
I remember when I first moved to New York in 94 and I just got on a soap opera and I was feeling like I was a hot shot. I met this guy and I brought him back to my place and I put on the soundtrack to The Last Temptation of Christ, which if you don't know it, it's very sexy. It's like tantra and it's like all that sort of stuff. And so we start messing around and he stopped me and he said, "You're having sex to the beat of the music." And I was like, yeah, I know. Awesome, right? And it was a real turnoff for him, but I thought, I'm doing this right. One man's treasure is another man's trash. And I thought that was like it. And, other people are like, that's not my jam. I think I came to the soundtrack without having seen the movie. And then I later watched the movie. The movie didn't have the impact on me that the music did. Soundtracks are some of my favorite albums. Thelma and Louise soundtrack, Rain Man soundtrack. I'm not sure what it is, but I love soundtracks. I think they kind of tell a story as you listen to them. I don't know what it was. That music just hit me like a ton of bricks in a great way. But I don't really associate it with the movie.
Right.
It's just the music.
Do you remember when you discovered it? Did somebody?
Yes, I believe it was recently moved to New York. So it was probably 94, 95, because I remember playing it a lot in this particular apartment. I've moved enough over my lifetime that I can compartmentalize my memories based on where I was, because I've been in so many different apartments and homes and places and cities that I know, oh, well, that was either 94 or 95 because it was that apartment on that futon. Wow. So that's when that would have been like 94, 95. I was dating a lot. I was like a real hot shot in New York City for the first time.
Is that when you had your soap?
Yes. I was on, I got hired to be on One Life to Live, which was a total blast. Most people say, oh, my soap opera days. I was so dumb. I can't believe I did that. I loved it. I had so much fun doing it.
Really? How long did you do it for?
I did it 94 to 96, and then I left to become a movie star, and that wasn't working out. So I remember I called them in, I don't know, a few years later, and I said, can I come out of jail in Morocco? Because my character was in jail in Morocco. And they're like, sure. And so I went back for 3 more years, which was great, and I loved it. And then I left in 06 to become a movie star, and it wasn't working out again. And then I had a great situation where I would go back every summer for like 7 years and just work in the summer.
As the same character?
As the same character, yeah. Yeah, they were really good to me, and I loved it, and it was a great net, because as actors, there's great years and there's bad years, and so I sort of had a net for a number of years. I was on and off that show for like 18 years or something like that.
So then the other one you mentioned was one of your favorite artists, who I've never heard of, which is Julie Cruz, and the one of your favorite albums of Julie Cruz was Floating
into the Night,
1989.
She did the music for Twin Peaks. So if you can think of the TV series Twin Peaks and that sort of creepy, haunting sound that accompanied that TV show, that's her. And I remember buying the album at Tower Records in San Francisco. So this would have been early 90s,
okay,
91 maybe. I had heard the music on Twin Peaks, And I didn't really get Twin Peaks. I thought it was weird for the sake of being weird. But that music, like Last Temptation of Christ, it just hit me like a brick wall, and it hit me viscerally. And I just wanted it. And I think I was coming into my sort of sexual being at that time. And so those things really piqued my interest. And so I was in San Francisco, and I went into Tower Records just to buy that album. And sure enough, there's a whole album of music that's very similar to that opening to Twin Peaks. So that was something I kept in my car, and I kept it. I had two. I kept it in my car.
2 copies?
And I kept it in my home.
That's
The only other time I remember specifically going in somewhere to buy the music was I was driving to my 10-year high school reunion from Kansas City to St. Louis. And I pulled off the highway because there was a mall, and I was listening to Jon Secada.
Jon Secada. I totally remember Jon Secada.
I can't remember the name of the song, but it was like his only famous song, whatever that song was. Just another day without you. But I remember I pulled off the freeway and I bought the cassette and I put it in, and I was just feeling all my feelings and loving it. And then I bought another copy.
How did you just randomly pull off the freeway and find a place that had a copy of Jon Secada?
Because I was driving from Kansas City to St. Louis, where my high school reunion was in St. Louis, where I went to high school.
Right.
And I was driving by the mall where I worked when I was in high school at Sticks, Bear and Fuller, which was this department store.
Bear and Fuller?
It became Dillard's.
Oh,
which is a
I knew
Midwestern
Dillard's.
department store.
Yeah.
So I knew there was a music store in that mall, and I knew where it was. And so I went in there and bought that. But I also bought a copy from my boyfriend at the time, and I mailed it to him because he was back in LA. Like, this is what I think about when I think about you, and I love you.
Jon Secada.
Yeah.
2 copies. Wait a second. We're going to take a moment to pause in honor of that pulling off the highway moment and listen to the Jon Secada song. We'll be right back. It's a good song.
I'm now remembering why I sent that to that boyfriend.
Just Another Day Without You?
We broke up all the time. We broke up every 2 weeks. And so those lyrics talk about, why are you gone? Or why do we have to break up? Why can't we be together? All that stuff. I was like, yes, Jon Secada is speaking to me.
You're listening. I just see, those moments where you're driving down the highway and you're like, I'm going to fucking pull over and I'm going to get 2 of those. And I'm going to send him one.
Yes.
And I'm going to listen. This is the...
Yeah. I also wrote out the lyrics to the Indigo Girls' Ghost.
Oh, I know all the...
I wrote that out and I mailed it to him to let him know, because it was like, I'm in love with your ghost. That's what it was. And then Sinead O'Connor's...
Nothing Compares to You.
Nothing Compares to You. I had a different boyfriend, probably like a month later, who I think that was on CD by then. I remember I didn't realize how often I sent people music.
You are romantic,
but you know
sir.
what? No, it was not. It was aggressive. It was aggressive. It was like, look how I feel about you. Because it was usually when things weren't going well, or you broke up with me, or you're wrong, or see how deeply I can feel. It was more aggressive, and I thought it made perfect sense at the time.
In a way it does, because music captures the passion of that feeling. I mean, like it's tied up in that. So you're like, this is how I feel. Like if you listen to this and hear Jon Secada sing this, or you read these lyrics, you will understand.
Yes,
you will get it.
You'll understand me.
You'll understand me.
Because he speaks for me.
Yeah.
And that reminds me of, if you were a gay guy about my age coming out in the early 90s, Madonna was your patron saint. And she spoke for me. And when she sang Express Yourself, I was like, she's talking for me. And I couldn't help but love her. And my best friend, Brooke Dillman, who I mentioned earlier, she's like, I can't believe you like Madonna. She can't sing. And I was like, how dare you? She speaks for me. She gets me. Madonna gets me.
I want to hear actually a group that I've never heard of, which is Orgy.
Oh, yeah.
Is it Orgy or Orgy?
Orgy, yeah.
Orgy. And the song is Blue Monday from 1998, and the album is Candy Ass, and it's one of your favorite pump-up songs.
So Blue Monday, I believe, was originally sung by New Order from their album Substance. And I think that's 1984. And I remember liking that song, but I was on Fire Island in 04 or 05 with my group of housemates, and Orgy's version of Blue Monday came on. And I remember I was wearing these orange linen pants. Look at me, everybody look at me. And we were on our deck and we just started dancing like crazy to Blue Monday. And I remember it was so much fun because we were doing drinking and doing drugs and stuff like that at that time, but we weren't doing it that night. And we were just dancing. And I remember I kept playing that song over and over. So it's a memory of getting pumped up without other stimulants, which I thought I appreciated that.
Right.
I wish I could have found that more then.
Yeah.
I eventually got sober. I've been sober for 6 years now. I wish I could have found those kinds of moments with music that would take me up that high without other things earlier.
Okay, so I've never heard it. So we're going to play a little bit of it. This is, Blue Monday by Orgy, album's Candy Ass from 1998. Here we go. The New Order song, of course, I totally know that song.
The New Order version it's just much more tame.
Yes.
It's prettier. But I really like The Boys of Summer, I think is my favorite single by Don Henley. But I also love the Ataris do a cover of it that's much more rockin', and I love that also. I think sometimes you can hear a cover of your favorite song, you think that's not the right one.
Right. Oh,
the original's better. But I like a lot of covers of stuff that I originally liked.
It's interesting with that. The stuff that you like that's a very primal version of it.
I do think I like drums. I like rhythmic repetition. During the pandemic, I decided I was going to train and run a marathon. I hate running, but I thought I'm going to do that. And the only way I could get myself to run at length was to listen to music that I described as tribal or rhythmic or trance-like. And
really?
It would pull me into a state where I could be a passenger in my own body while my body ran, and I could look around like this is effortless. And to get to that point after a few miles was magical. And it was specifically that kind of music, because I tried listening to podcasts where people would speak. I thought, I'll listen to people talk for an hour and that'll interest me, but I couldn't maintain my pace. I would run slower and slower as I listened to people talk. But if I listened to the right music, it would pump me up and keep me going. My friend Brooke Dillman, again, said that's cheating. You're not allowed to listen to music when you're
Brooke, if you're listening, which you're not, that's wrong.
Well, I think Olympic athletes aren't allowed to listen to music while they compete. I think that's correct.
Well, that makes sense.
Well, maybe, but who cares what you're listening to if it makes your body...
Is that true about Olympics?
I don't know. My friend Brooke said it was true.
Brooke is the source.
I'm quoting my 4-year-old friend.
We're going to...
My friend from when I was 4 years old. I don't think when you see guys at the starting block, I don't think you ever see earbuds in their ears.
For some reason that makes, I don't agree with Brooke, but then I also understand not being able to have it.
If only we had a little computer in our pocket and we could look it up.
I try to stay away from doing that. I like our just analog discussion here, although I have looked up a couple things. Queen and the Soldier by Suzanne Vega, 1985. Mm-hmm. Again,
it's all in the 80s.
Yeah. So tell me about how you came to that song.
One of my best friends in college, Katie Kelly, she introduced me to Suzanne Vega.
Katie Kelly, great name.
And The Queen and the Soldier is on, it might be her self-titled.
It's self-titled, yeah.
But it's one of those story songs. It's the story of a soldier who goes to the Queen and says, I'm not fighting for you anymore. I don't believe in what you're doing. I'm taking a stand and I won't do it anymore. And she says, okay, I respect that. And then she ushers him into a room where he's executed. And it's like, oh my gosh, he bared his soul to her. And you think that they're coming together and oh my gosh, maybe they're going to fall in love because she respects that he stood up, and she murders him. But it's told so melodically and it's told so beautifully. It's like a train wreck of the substance of which the story is, but the way it's being told, I just found it mesmerizing.
I want to hear a little of that song because I don't know it.
If you can,
yeah,
go near the end,
because
that's where the shit hits the fan in that song.
We're going to listen to Queen and the Soldier, 1985, Suzanne Vega, and we're going to skip to the end, so maybe you can too.
You can't ask a snake to not be a snake. It's just being its nature. And I feel like that soldier said to her, change your nature. And she wanted to, but she couldn't. And so she had to kill him.
Oh, it's a really good song.
It is a good song.
It's like melodic.
Well, she did Tom's Diner too, remember?
I don't remember.
She did Tom's Diner when it was just a cappella. I am sitting in the corner
of
the
yes.
diner.
Oh, that was called Tom's Diner.
That was Tom's Diner, and it's on that album, but there's no music behind it. And then a few years later, someone put music underneath it, and it became a hit.
I remember Luca. That's the one I know.
Yes, yeah. I think that's on the same album.
If only we could look.
Yeah.
Great song. I'm going to add that. That's a really, really good song.
Yeah, it's haunting.
Okay, so we're going to land the plane here. So, Johnny Cash.
I love Johnny Cash's sound. He, for some reason, reminds me of my father and my grandfather. And not that my father or grandfather were really musical, but he just reminds me of them. And if they sang, they would probably sound like him. But that song, Boy Named Sue, what I love, again, it's a story song. I love story songs. And the way that song starts, where this man has been, as a boy, he was named Sue by his father, who then took off. And how could a man do that? How could a man possibly name his son Sue and then take off and not expect the kid to get pissed off? But by the end of the song, you not only understand why he did, but you love that he did it, and you consider it, maybe I should do that too. So to go from, in a short arc, a song's what, 3 minutes? To go from how could this possibly find resolution in 3 minutes to it actually working, I think is like a magic trick. And that's what I thought about Boy Named Sue.
Did you hear it when, like, early on in your life, or did you come to it later?
I think I came to it later, but I don't think I found the relevance or the meaning in it until I became a dad. I'm not sure why, but I think I really heard it after I became a dad.
You know what's amazing about that song, which I didn't know? The song lyrics were written by Shel Silverstein.
Oh, is that right?
Yes, and Shel Silverstein, Where the Sidewalk Ends, was such a huge book of poems for me when I was younger. It was given to me, like, I think it's from like the mid-early 70s. And so it's so interesting you say as a dad that song came up, because it was written by this very poetic children's author.
I did not know that. That adds a whole nother layer to this. I assumed Johnny Cash wrote it, and I thought, how could he have the wherewithal to think like that?
Yeah.
It makes more sense that someone like Shel Silverstein did, because some of that stuff in Where the Sidewalk Ends, or the alphabet book where L is for lie, pour the lie into the toilet and tell your parents you drank it, you'll go to the hospital and get a lollipop. I mean, that guy was a mad genius.
Mad genius. He has one of my favorite poems. I can't remember a lot of things. I can remember a couple. I can remember a Shakespeare sonnet that I love, maybe a couple other things. But I remember this poem from Where the Sidewalk Ends, and I have it on the wall. And it's so applicable, I feel like, to people who are dreamers, specifically actors. And it's Listen to the Mussins. Have you heard? Do you know that one?
I don't.
It's very quick. It says, listen to the mussins, child. Listen to the don'ts. Listen to the shouldn'ts, the impossibles, the won'ts. Listen to the never haves, and then listen close to me. Anything can happen, child. Anything can be. I mean, just like, are you kidding me?
That's great.
Like, I mean, listen to everybody saying, no, it shouldn't, it's impossible, it won't, it can't. And then listen, anything can be. That always stuck with me when I was younger till now, and I love it so much. Well, that's it. You're done.
That's it?
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah, we're done. I know if I ever happen to come over and I hear any of those 3 tunes going, things are going to get spicy.
That I'm hunting for you. You're a target.
You're on the prowl. Well, thanks for driving down here and doing this.
It's my pleasure.
Hey, buddy.
Anytime.